Hello everyone, I, in case you didn't realize, am the great Jazz Fitness, live from the House of Jazz. And I came here today to talk to you folks about a few things that have been bothering me, a few things that I need to get off my chest, and a few things that quite frankly need to be said. First of all, we lost a dear friend of mine and a very great wrestling legend over the weekend, over this past week, Maniac Matt Bourne, the original Doink the Clown. May you rest in peace, and may you throw plenty of pies in the faces of all of those who fell before us. Second of all, you know, everyone's talking about, you know, a person that, I want to make something clear. A few years ago I made a video. That video went viral here on YouTube. And on that video I happened to call out a certain YouTube phenom who went on to do supposed big things. And that person is you, Justin Bieber. I told you a couple of years ago that in a few years people wouldn't care about you anymore, that you'd be yesterday's news and you'd be doing nothing anymore. Well, I was wrong. Yeah, I wasn't wrong about the fact that nobody cares about you. What I was wrong about was that you wouldn't be talked about anymore. Lately, all you've been doing is getting kicked out of hotels and getting barred from places and having affairs with women and ruining marriages and whatnot. Buddy, you're a loser. I said it then, I'll say it now. You're nothing but a pathetic, has-been, washed-up boy, former boy star who once was big and now is nothing. I want to make it clear that I called that many years ago, that you do nothing in a few years. Girls don't care about you anymore. Guys for sure don't care about you anymore. So why don't you do us all a favor, retire, take your millions, go back to Canada, and listen to whatever music you call music in your own home. Now, that's out of the way. You know, something you folks might not know about Jazz Fitness is Jazz Fitness is a huge comic book junkie. Jazz Fitness likes reading comic books because, quite frankly, they're good for a laugh because, let's face it, Jazz Fitness is the original hero of modern time. Now, before I go into superheroes, you may be noticing that Jazz Fitness has shedded a few pounds. If you haven't, then you haven't seen me in a while. Because Jazz Fitness has trimmed down a good 20 pounds since the last Jazz Fitness video. That's why he's wearing the sexy new Jazz Fitness tights. Now, that being said, the reason Jazz Fitness likes superheroes is because I like to find new people and new things for Jazz Fitness to, well, let's face it, jazz up. And there's a few comic book people out there, superheroes, that really need to be really talked about. I mean, personally, Jazz Fitness has a favorite comic book character, that is Deadpool. Why is it Deadpool? Because he's a loudmouth, obnoxious mercenary that doesn't care who or what you are. He goes around and he takes out whoever because that's the right thing to do. He takes out the bad guys because that's the right thing to do. And he runs his mouth and everything else while he's doing it. Clearly, he's a Jazz Fitness character. The other person is the Punisher. Jazz Fitness is a huge fan of the Punisher because of the vigilante justice that the Punisher shows. Now, there's another superhero out there that people may or may not be aware of. That hero is Jazz Vengeance. Have you heard about this guy? Let me tell you about Jazz Vengeance. In case you're not aware, Jazz Vengeance is this guy. He's got 10 adopted kids. He's got a following around the world. He's the leader of the F4L. And he's got this group called the F4L Gavel Justice Group, where he's friends with Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, but they're really Fred and Jay, and they're good guys for some reason. And Jazz Vengeance goes around and he helps people and he does these other random things, and you know, he couldn't get it done with his wife. And yeah, needless to say, currently Jazz Vengeance is single. Big surprise. You see, if Jazz Fitness was in that role, Jazz Fitness would have the girls all over the place, and Jazz Fitness would have as many kids as he'd like. But Jazz Vengeance is a narrow-minded, good guy that quite frankly doesn't have it in him to be as great as Jazz Fitness. Jazz Vengeance was a legend in high school, and he got into fights, and he helped out he was a bully buster of the high school, and he protected everybody. Wah, wah, wah. Jazz Vengeance couldn't light a candle to Jazz Fitness. Why? Because he's got a few fans out there, Jazz Vengeance does. He thinks he's better than Jazz Fitness. Let me tell you something. Jazz Fitness looks better than Jazz Vengeance. Jazz Fitness is stronger than Jazz Vengeance. And sure as hell, Jazz Fitness is a better hero than Jazz Vengeance ever would be. That's right. Jazz Fitness would wipe the floor with Jazz Vengeance. And you know what else? I'd love doing it myself. Because, you know, Jazz Vengeance, this clown, he goes around walking around high and mighty, thinks he's better than everybody. Well, Jazz Fitness knows he's better than everybody. So there's obviously doubt there. Let me tell you something, Jazz Vengeance. If you ever had the gall to come find Jazz Fitness, I'll show you what the real business is all about, brother. I will take you and I will mop the floor with you, and I do it without even trying. Because Jazz Fitness is better than Jazz Vengeance any day of the week, baby. Because Jazz Vengeance is nothing more than a washed up icon. He's yesterday's news. Nobody cares about Jazz Vengeance anymore. Nobody cares about the Friendar series. Nobody even cares. But Jazz Fitness has the following, has the clout, has everything going for him. So, Jazz Vengeance, look into my eyes. And when I tell you, Jazz Fitness is looking for you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. I throw down the gauntlet. Jazz Vengeance, if you have the gall and the guts, come see Jazz Fitness and I'll show you what the real jazz is all about. You just got jazzed by fitness.